I find it interesting you said that would be my guess. I don't know, and I know a lot of our listeners probably don't know. What's the status of you and Hunter's relationship these days? Are y'all still tight, thick as thieves, like always?
Well, we I don't think we're thick as thieves, but I can tell you this, and this I'm glad you asked me that question. We had a big falling out over the trademark, the man issue, big falling out. But I'd be very surprised if I wasn't in the top five people that reached out to Stephanie when he got sick.
Yeah.
Um, Certainly, as soon as I became aware of it, I called her and I called him. And he is, and I probably, Beth will be mad, he's the first person I called when Reed died.
Wow.
So, for whatever people want to make of our relationship or not, I feel like everybody has ups and downs. You have arguments, you have disagreements. But I can guarantee you this, I'll be at his funeral, and I'll guarantee you this, he'll be at mine.
Yeah.
And everything else is what everybody else can say what they want to say about it and make out what they want to make of it. I also will tell you this, I give all the credit to Vince for bringing me on in 2001 when I was just flat dead on my ass because of Russo and Bischoff. But I think Hunter had just as much to do with it. And certainly when I got there, he pushed me. He knew I had huge, huge self-confidence issues, and he would not let me rest on my old laurels. He kept pushing me and pushing me and pushing me. And basically everything I have today in terms of redemption in the business would be because of him and Vince. And I don't have any problem saying that to anybody. And anybody who wants to try and pick that apart can go fuck themselves. Without him and Vince, I'm not here today. 73 years old and still extremely relevant. much, much to the dismay of many. And I'll tell you something else he did. When Reed died, I took my Hall of Fame ring from 2008
Yep.
when Hunter inducted me, and I put on a ring in Reed's finger in his casket. And I guess Ashley had told Hunter that. And when I went to NXT to see Ashley, he pulled me aside. And of course, I thought he was going to tell me, which is kind of a private joke, not to walk over to the ale house during tapings and have a beer. Instead, he gave me another Hall of Fame ring
Wow.
with Richard Reed Flair inside of it.
That's
So
awesome.
it'd be pretty hard to stay mad or be upset with someone that did all that for me.
Yeah.
No matter what people want to think, who else has those kind of experiences in real life? Plus, he was in one of my weddings, and I was in his one. He was actually the best man at one of my weddings
I love it. I love it.
on the island.
Is that the one where you were famously dropping elbows afterwards?
It probably was. It was my third one, whatever it was.
So let's talk.
And I was at his wedding, so there you go. And I mean, they asked me, and my claim to fame at Hunter's wedding is that this is a great story. Is that I don't know how I happen to know the proprietor of a club in Raleigh, but I do. For a guy who was from Minneapolis, and we had a bachelor party for Hunter that was second to none. There were 65 young ladies working and 200 wrestlers. And me and Vince and Shane split the tab. And I wrote I wrote a check out of my account that I never thought that Beth would see. And brother, you talk about World War III. So my end was 36 grand. The thing cost
Oh,
about 100 grand. And so she goes, she was screaming at me, what would make you do that? And I said, he's my friend. They're going to pay me back. And he said, this is Beth, how smart she is in the business, and me. You're going to call them and tell them to add something to your check, even though they're really not going to do it. Just to fuck with me. And I steal money from our family.
my gosh.
Oh yeah, you have no idea. Yeah,
That sounds like a hell of a
I don't
party.
think my credit card would take 36 grand that night.
That's a big swipe right there, my friend. Big
Oh,
swipe.
listen, Hunter and Shane. Hunter had to go to a wine tasting. Shane and Hunter and Shane when we drove out to the plane, they got on and left me with the whole tab. So I called Vince the next day. I said, I got some help on this, brother. 36 I can handle, but 103 I can't. So
Yeah.
Shane and Hunter, not to mention dinner at Sullivan's.
That was a big time.
Oh, what a party. God, everybody had a good time.
Well, I'm excited to see what's next.
Every time I see Hunter's dad, I say, let's have another bachelor party. Oh, God.